and I come face to face with a demon of the time I was out in Sweden. And I come face to face with a demon. I'd been training for months to do the Stockholm marathon. And myself and my friend Sean, we travelled over to Sweden, and we'd stayed the night before in a hotel, and it's a beautiful city, done some shopping, so we was in high spirits, having a fantastic time. We got ready for the race, got himself all up, and all the people, and there was thousands of people, all lined up ready for the start of this marathon. And there was hundreds of us on the embankment at the side of the road, and all we was doing, we were watching, getting ready to watch the set off on the race, on the marathon. And as I was stood there, and all the people were dead excited, there was a really positive energy, really exciting. You could feel the love of all the people and the respect of all the hard work. And just as I was stood there, something caught my attention further in the distance to the left-hand side. And I looked, and I saw, it felt as if something was coming towards the crowd, coming towards us. And as I was staring, the best way I could describe it was as if you're watching telly and someone turned the sound off. Everything went silent. And it was like almost time had slowed down. Not to a very slow motion, but had slowed down significantly. But I was still like just normal and looking, and I was watching this something coming towards us, and it was started to weave in and out of the men and the women that were in the road ready to start the race. And it was like a hurricane, like a whirlwind, but it was going so fast, in and out, in and out. But because everything was in slow motion and silence, I was just like fixated, like watching it. And then all of a sudden, it more or less got level with me. And there was about 4 to 5 people of the runners who were in front of me. And then this whirlwind, whatever it was, just stopped. And as it stopped, it stared at me. And it was about the size of a human. And it just looked at me. And we stared at each other in the eyes. And it was almost like the thing was thinking, how can you see me? And I was thinking, what am I staring at? What is this? And I froze. Probably a little bit of fear. I didn't know what was happening. And it felt like it was going on forever. And it was probably milliseconds in the grand scale of things. But at the time when it happened, it's almost like the world stopped. And it just stood there and stared at me. And the weird thing was about it, it was if it was a young demon, if there's such a thing, because its face looked quite smooth and baby-like, almost like a teenager. But so it's like as if it wasn't a fully grown demon yet, and it was exploring this dimension and these realms. It was quite obvious what it was. It had little horns on it. It had fangs in its mouth as it smiled. Well, I say smiled. It was more just like shock of the fact that we could see each other, and we had this standoff, just staring at each other. And as quick as that happened, it turned back into a whirlwind, and it started to race through the crowd again, and off it went. And then it was like somebody turned on the TV, all the sound come back. All the people were jumping up and down and stretching their legs. And then the gun went, and off they went and started the race. And I was just left stood on the embankment in disbelief at what had just happened. I spent the rest of the day just walking around Stockholm trying to get my head around what had happened. I tried to come up with a million ideas what it could have been. I thought, was it someone in fancy dress? And nothing made sense. And also, because time slowed down and stopped, everything went quiet. It was just me and the thing staring at each other. Who knows what this world's about? There's some crazy stuff.
Was it Anthony Fauci?